Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for visiting once again. And so I'm decided to do a little project on a tank now, and I was in a well-known hobby shop in Exeter a little while ago, and I came across this one, and I thought, well, that's a little kit that ought to do. I've never made a Sherman. I made a Walker Bulldog many years ago, and a Sheridan and a Chieftain and a Centurion and goodness only knows how many others, but never made a Sherman. So I thought, well, I know, I'll make a Sherman. Now this is an early Sherman, as you probably can see by the Misteron encrusted box there. It's the early production, so apparently you can tell the difference between the early production and the late production. On the early production they only had one hatch at the top, and so that allows you to tell the difference. I think when they put the new gun in, when they put the for the Firefly, I think they turned the gun barrel sort of upside down, and then they had to put another container, not container, another hatch in to allow the gun layer, I think, to get in. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to do a review on this. I'm just going to actually excuse me, I'm going to go and get on with it, to be honest with you, and just film the progress, so it's live as it's happening type of thing. This isn't really about building a kit. This is actually about what you do afterwards, I think, in as much as anything. So I'm going to build it and finish it, and then perhaps concentrate on adding some wear and weathering and so on. You can see some examples of that on this box lid here anyway, but there you are. It's a Tamiya, so if we took all the bits off the screws and give it a bit of a shake, then it would all come together, but I'm not going to do it the boring way. I should do it this way instead. So here we go, it's all here, so we might as well get on with it, and off we jolly well go. So we need, what I'll do is I'll put them away safely somewhere, because otherwise they'll get scratched. But you know what, they're going to get scratched anyway, to be perfectly truthful with you. So anyway, let's hop to it, shall we? So we need some F sprue parts. Let's have a look at just the sprue designs here. They'll be around here somewhere, I've no doubt. No, there isn't. It appear to be. Oh, well, there we are. Look, there doesn't appear to be a sprue fallout on this sheet, but we'll do without it in that case. We'll just hunt through it and find the relevant sprues as we need. So there we go. There we go. So this is what we want here. I think we want certainly one of them. That's a B part, and we want the D's and F's. That's D's, I would say. That's A's. So I'm wrong there straight away. Aha, there we go. That's a D. That also is a D. So we'll just drop them over there and pick that up. We need that. I've got the what's it called, the polycaps, so we want that part there. So we'll just get on with it. So this is an M4 Sherman tank, which, by the way, does not mean a tank that plies its trade between London in England and the other end of South Wales, for that is the motorway. That's not what we're looking for at all. F38, we want that one. Just whip that off, and D5 we want. They're both D5s, so, but there were several versions, and they were used quite extensively because they were easy to build, and they were available in considerable numbers. It was probably the fact that they were available in considerable numbers that meant that it was possible to defeat much more heavily armoured tanks like the Tiger and so on, so that was something of an advantage there. Let's just do some part cleaning. Once again, I'm using these little glass files. I gather they're not actually available in Canada, although it's possible that you might be able to acquire them from a friendly local internet if you want to pay for a few Canadian dollars for the the parts to be delivered to you, but they're really jolly good. They make the job of filing things down terribly easy. And what I remember, I may have pointed out to you, it's a good idea to file along the length of a part rather than that way, because if you go this way at right angles to it, you get chatter. And if you listen carefully to this as I file it, you'll find that the sound will change when you've removed the sprue nib. So let's see if we can listen out for that. You sort of heard that, I think. Let's try it with the other one. So there you go. See, the noise disappears, and we know that all of those are okay. So the other thing to do here is just to fetch these. The other thing you can do is make it slightly easier for yourself, is just fetch off those the end of those nibs a little, and the work you need to do to smooth those off is considerably eased. I'm just going to have a quick look at that anyway. I'm not sure about what these should look like. Do a quick test fit. Does that go that way? It does appear to. Yes, I think it does. There we go. It sits on after that fashion. So you have to be careful with these. It would appear, yes. It's as well to be careful with these little nibs here, because they are what will help you to locate the whatnots. So there appears to be a difference here between a one-piece and a three-piece hull. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to go for this one here anyway, but that was the one I always intended to do. So turn that around the other way and see what that looks like that way. It goes that way, I think, by the look of it. Yes, I think that looks like it needs to come off. So we'll fetch that off, I think, because otherwise it won't fit properly. Yes, that is correct. So we'll just take that off, and that then goes straight into there like that. So you can see that fairly easily by the look of it. I'll just have another quick look at that to make sure it goes on the right way. Does it go that way? Yes, looks like it. So what we'll do is we'll drop a bead of glue in there. I'll use the standard Tamiya thin adhesive, not the extra thin quick setting. There we go. Leave that there like that, and then that just presumably sits on there like that. That is precisely how it goes, it would appear. And then they sit on like that. So those are the final drive cogs there, I would suggest. It sort of fits, I have to say. Let's have a look at that other component that we rejected, the single piece, which is a variant. I'll have a quick look at that. I won't take the sprue nibs off or anything like that, but I see that it's different because the final drive cogs are different as well. So right, we won't be using that, we'll use this one instead, and fetch them in. And drop a bead of glue onto that as well. We don't need to be too particular about that. We can just drop the glue onto it, and away we go, and it will adhere perfectly happily for us. And it's the same there with that. I'll just bear on that for a minute, and that will glue in perfectly happily. There we go. Right. Have a quick look at that under the magnifier a minute. There we go. Right. Just a bit of sprue nib there that needed to be I'll glue the other sides of those in a second. Just make sure that we've got those and watch the capillary action go round that corner there. It's very quick. If we can show that again here, tell you what, we'll prepare it so that you can see that happening. Just if we can get that in focus. Doesn't want to focus today. I wonder why that's. How very odd. There we go. Right, so what we'll do is we'll just drop a bead of glue there, and you watch it go round. Didn't go quite as quickly as I'd anticipated, but there we go. Anyway, it interested me. I do hope it interested you as well. So that's that section done, and then we're looking at F25 and 26 and F37. So F sprue parts again. 25 and 26 and 37, which are both there, look, so we'll fetch them away. Once again, we'll try and do good housekeeping all the time so that we can make certain that we don't spill glue. It's always a good idea to get into these good habits if we can. I know I sometimes don't do them myself, so we'll try and do these jobs properly. So there's the end of the sprue here, and the beginning of the part is difficult to see if you've got roomy old eyes like mine, so I'm going to cut right up to the rounded end of the sprue and then go under the magnifier and have a quick look at them. So what I'll do with that is I'll go under the magnifier here and just take away the excess that's not got any sort of rim part on it, so we can just remove those nibs there perfectly happily. As you can see, this thing takes away the any sprue remains really easily. Just tap it to break the swarf out of it from time to time, and it goes back to working perfectly. Yep, same thing here. And we're using just a slightly curved motion on the file just to bring that away. And that's cleared them, so we can put them away over there. Just bring that up there. So the sprue nib here, we can just nip that off. I'll nip the one off this side as well. There we go. We might need just to use a little proper file there, just to help us to take those sections off, because that's slightly curved there. So we'll get a little slim file. I'm sure I have one secreted away in my ditty box here. There we go. I'll just come underneath this to show you this properly. There we go, and we can also see the, let's get into this, there we go. You can see the bit where the, that's the sprue nib there. And so what we'll do is we'll go at the correct angle. We don't need to probably do any filing of that. We'll do just a little anyway. It's at a slightly oblique angle, so it's worthwhile getting that right. Don't file it too hard or you'll snap that little delicate end off there. Same thing here. There we go, nice little gentle file there, and likewise here. So there we go. Fetch that through there. Now let's see if we can get these the right way round. Those go that way round like that, it would appear, and sit in perfectly happily there. Put that the right way. Now if we put these the wrong way round, then what will happen is it does fit, would you believe? It does fit the wrong way round, but it fits drunken, shall we say. It doesn't look good. So what we can do is make certain that we do it the right way round. There we go. And it's all perfect then. We have to attend to the fact that this needs to be at the correct angle, these bolts. So what we'll do is we'll drop them on there, drop a bead of glue in there. I'll glue both sides because this way we get the best possible bond. Oh no, I just anointed that section there, which is not what I wanted to do. There we go. Do the same for this one. Oh no, that's not quite right, but it's not quick setting, so we can glue in and then adjust later. I just noticed that this front section here is slightly textured, so it's emulating the cast of the original full-sized component, which is nice to see. And we'll just carefully press them down. And just make certain that they're that's not properly adhered in. So we'll just hold that for a second, just press down on that just for a minute. There we go. And these two sections here just drop in like that. And we'll just glue them in. I get the impression that this is a, shall we say, a fairly quick build. One of those things that you experienced modelers out there, you could probably do this in half a weekend. And we could even think about putting it into a diorama or something like that, maybe. That would be a... What have I done with that other piece? Seems to have disappeared. Oh, there it is. It's floated over there. There we go. That's that. So we'll just bear on that slightly. Little dab of glue's in there. And there we are. So that's section done. So we completed section 1 in scarcely 21 minutes. Normally for me that'd probably take about 21 hours, but there we are. The next component we want to go to is again this belly component here, and we're then going to the rear section. So we're looking at F23. So let's find that F component sprue again. That's the F component sprue, and there is 23 there with the rear door panel. We'll fetch that off and just give it a quick clean up. When I think about it, I could have done this as a live, couldn't I? I'd been thinking for a second, that's probably what I would have done. Although I do find that when I do lives, I spend a lot of time talking to all the splendid people who come along and visit, and there are many of them, and I do appreciate it. Does that fit in there like that? Yes, it does. Well, that's pretty straightforward, and that's a nice fit. That fits in very nicely. So we know what way up that goes. So I need F8 and F9 now, and then D19. There are two D19s. So I want F8 and F9 to get these doors here. Right, there we are. F8 and 9. Count them. Now I am inclined on this occasion, with this model, to paint the chaps up. We'll see what happens with that. I may or may not do that. We'll see. I'll see how I feel. Now that would be a thing that you really could laugh at and say, now look here, Zinners, old boy, you're a bit of an idiot at painting these. You really need to take some lessons from people like Aussie Scale Modelling Secret and those kind of people who really know about painting figures, and they are really bloody good at them. He's terrific at that sort of thing. He's very, very good. So F8 just goes in there, but F9 goes in first by the look of it. So there we go, F9 and F8. So those presumably will be the engine access portals, gateways, as you will. Call them what you will. What we can do with them is no prizes for guessing that I didn't do up my glue lid. There we go. Right, a quick bunch on there. Just push them down a bit. So other things we need here. Need a couple of those little rings. D19. So the D sprues are the ones with the sprockets and the wheels and such like on them. The wheels appear to be in single sections. That the wheels do have rubber guide whatnots around them, so I think that might be quite interesting to put them on. D19, I led myself up the garden path there. There's an at there. There we go. Where is D19? Oh, there it is. Little tiny parts. Get my gone. Oh, it's gone where I can see it. That's good. D19, there it is. Let's cover that with my thumb and forefinger, and then I can keep a hold of it like that. There's my tweezers. I might just need them for a second. And the reason I might just need them for a second is purely and simply so that I can hold these whilst I give it a quick file. I'll just go in on that a minute so you can see what it is I'm up to. What I was doing there before I threw it off was put the round section through a tweezer end so that I could file it without it disappearing into the middle distance. So in this way I can file it perfectly happily, and there we go. So that's that done. Now these will go, so these are angled, and what we'll need to do is drop them in like that. So well, let's lift that up so that you can see that. And same for the second one here. So they both face the same way. Drop that in, and as you can see, it being a Tamiya, it just fits straight in. There's no messing around, and the very action of capillary on the glue there allows us to be able to maintain that joint properly. I'll just make sure these are angled up nicely, which they do appear to be. So these are just shackles, so we got those, and then we have to make the air filter here. So it's D22, D23 and D24. These were the D components. There appear to be two of these air filters, so 22, 23 and 24, they are there. So we'll just take the first lot off to begin with. Do our glue up because we won't need that straight away, but we will need it in a second. I suppose to some extent I'm sort of showing how simple this can be, and it is simple. I sort of debated when I bought this, do I make a video about this or don't I? And I thought, well, yeah, I will. Why not? It's a nice thing to do, and some of you have been in modelling land kind enough to tell me that you think my videos are at least in some measure worthwhile, which is really jolly decent of you. Now, which way round is that going to go? Is that handed in some manner? So I need to get my magnifying whatnot out. Is it handed? It needs some clean up, that's for certain. Otherwise these parts are not going to fit properly. Well, I think it's not handed in any meaningful sense, let's put it like that. So I think what we'll do is we'll glue them so that they're absolutely spot on in terms of the fit. No, I've got to be careful with that. I don't want to get glue on my fingers, and I just did that, and you saw that glue wicked across that little joint there. Otherwise we'll end up with any glue finger marks, won't we, which are not acceptable, are they? Where's that other little Johnson there? Let's have a quick look and see what the... Yeah, that seems to go any old way it chooses. It would appear to me anyway. Alright, that's pretty much glued in there, so we'll just drop a bead of glue around there and then have a look, see how that goes. It seems to go that way up, it would appear. Is that how it goes? It looks like it might be. Just going to go forward a section or two, see if I can see what this looks like. It doesn't actually show you. I think it goes in that way round like that and looks a bit like that, but it's going to need some cleanup, that's for certain. Now on that basis, that will go in there like that, and as you can see it fits very nicely. Let's bring you out to 1x zoom there, or 0, whichever one you like. Oh, what's happened there then? Ah, you may have spotted a deliberate mistake by me here. There are sprue nibs visible. And now they're gone. There we go. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll drop this on here in just the way it should be. Let's get that, there we go. It would appear. And we'll then bond that in. Like that. And all these joints we can clean them up later if we want to. We probably won't need to be honest with you. It is a tank after all said and done, and its job in life was to get a bit filthy. So what we'll then do is we'll let that dry for a second, and I'll fetch off those other air filter components, and we'll do the clean-up job on them. And then get them together. We'll catapult them about the place as we always do. And there we are. And we'll get them fit on. And there's this last section here. Now what I think about this, what you can do with this actually is this square section here with the sprue nib on it, you could hide that by putting it in here, which is what I've done here. I've done it accidentally here, I think, but I did nevertheless do it. So yeah, these will need some clean up after they've been glued up, I think, to be honest with you. So I won't put them on just yet. We'll just actually won't put that on just yet. That doesn't look quite right. gluing process. See, that's not quite that, those bits there. Then there are circular bits. Weren't quite done, were they? Yeah, there we go. That looks much better. So we'll get that. That's that sprue nib there, so we'll drop that in there like that. And then hold that for a second. It's probably capillary, that glue all around now, but just want to make sure that that's in the right orientation and looks the same all the way around. So I'm going to put them aside for a while and leave them, because I think they're going to need some cleanup after the glue's dried, which will probably take a little bit longer than I have right at this point. And there will be some D components, D26, 4 of those, and then we have a B10 to put on either side of that, so they go in there like that. Okay, so we have, let's get those B10 components. So we've that, they're done but not put on. We want F21 as well, so let's do B10 and we'll get F21 off. F21 and F22, there we are. Those are the two there. So F21 is the left side one and F22 is the right side one, and we've got them, they're actually marked with the numbers on them. That makes things jolly simple. So we can just nip them off the old sprue there. And give them a quick clean up. There you go, you hear the noise change and the mark is gone. We're going to have to go this way at right angles to the work on this occasion, on account of you can't go that way. But you do have to be more careful in case you address the file at an angle like that, because despite the fact that these are very good at taking sprues off, they aren't a respecter of surface if you're not actually careful. So you do really need to be quite careful with these. So once again, there you go. When you've done filing the section off, it gets smooth and you can't feel any gap there or any interference, and the noise goes away. You can see there's still some white there. For those of you that don't know, and there won't be many of them I don't suppose, you can always see there's a bit of sprue remaining, because the filed sprue will go white around the edges of the bit that you're filing proud. After the white bits have gone, you know you've got that actually nice and smooth. So it's a good way of testing, you know, how close you are. So F22, let's orientate this round the right way so that we can see what we're up to here. So the F22 one goes on the right hand side, and seems to sit in there like that. See, my unfamiliarity, oh, that's not right, surely. The 22 number goes actually on the outside. Oh, would you believe that? I'm amazed. I would never have thought the F22 number would go out on the outside on the right there. But there we go. just goes to show what I know, doesn't it? So we're just looking at this a minute. I'll come right in on this so that you can see that this is actually not quite angled properly. I'm surprised at that. I would have thought that the angle of this part here would be the same as the angle of this fluted section here, but it doesn't seem to be. But every other part of that fits very nicely, it would appear. So I'm not really sure about, it seems odd that it would be that way, but just go the other side a minute and have a quick look, see what that one looks like. Well, they both look the same, so what we'll do is we'll say sod it, that will do. We'll glue it in. The same on the other side. But it does seem to fit in nicely. I don't think it's a problem in that regard. There we go. '22 and 21. We now want B10. Find the B sprue, and we found the B sprue, so that's good. I'll just do that up a minute whilst I locate B10. B9 and B10, there we go. So it's B9 and B10. They're both solidly moulded parts, so we don't need to assemble them. We'll need to take some. So we'll take B9 first and have a quick look. Yeah, there are some moulding marks that will need to be removed. Yes, I think we'll use a little skinny file to do that. And just, there we go, that's that done. Not quite, we can still see some white there. Some white on that little seam that you can observe there. Get in a bit further for you. There we go. And so that's B9. So B9 sits on the left side here and orientates with that little spigot. I've said one of the swear words on my magic swear box. And these mould markings out of the way. There we go. So that this what looks like a bolted section faces inwards after that fashion. And fits on thusly. So we'll apply a little dab of glue to that and just press it down slightly, which allows the bond to be made. We can then draw our finger away I just need to apply a little to the top here. Now, if you ever have I think there's some filling up of joints to be done there. If you ever have bits of whiteness left on your components, you can always use extra thin quick setting to burn it away, because it's quite quick setting is quite hot, so you can do that. You can use that to remove it. So let's put that away there, do that up. So what we can then do is lost that, don't know where that's gone. Didn't quite go off the bench. So we'll try and grasp that a little bit more effectively this time. There we go. So we use the file this time rather than the glass, the standard skinny stick, as opposed to the glass file on this occasion. And we'll just draw the file over it. Nice and carefully. That's fine there. There we go, and then we can drop that section in there thusly. A little bit of filling to do here because that's not quite mated up as I might want it, but I think not a lot of this is going to be seen. However, we'll do our best with it and try and do a good job, do it in a quality way if we can. Yeah, I didn't have any glue on my finger there, so we can now go in and just address the bottom of that. Just run some glue over that. I'll just bear on that for a second. There we go. I'll just burn that stuff away there, so that's that bit done. Put that light up there. Now we've got these two sections to just take a look at here, these two air filter units. I'll need to do a little bit of filing, get a smooth file on this as opposed to that quite rough one. This is very smooth. Just drop this is a 1200 stick. It's one of these ammo ones that I keep sculling around just in case I should need them. The advantage of them is they don't take too much surface off. And again, we can see those little white marks there that just are a bit of a tell. There's a slight overlap there. It's gone on that top section there. Just rub the file on a sleeve if you want to remove some of the dust. There we go. There we are. That's that bit done. And there we go. We can see those white marks there. We should be able to remove them with the. That's quite a big step there. So we'll just get the the slightly rougher stick there and just bear gently on it. There we go. And we'll just clean that up, polish it up with a smooth file, because that step was a little larger. Hopefully then none of that will show under the paint when it's all painted up. And now I need to just do a quick same thing here. And I'm not pressing particularly hard here, just want to roughen that surface up, and it helps us to finish them up. So there we go. So this appears to be where these sit, like that, it would appear. So let's have a quick look at the instructions. Yes, so they go like that, it would appear. I'll draw this out so that you can see what the hell I'm doing. I'm just doing a quick test fit to satisfy myself that I'm putting these on A, the right way up, and B, such that, I mean, it looks like it ought to be about right. Quite where this bears in onto anything, I'm not really sure, quite honestly. The upper part of the body will, I presume, sit onto this like that, and then sits in there like that. So now that looks about right, doesn't it? So looks like that's as it should be. So we'll just glue that in then, in that case, and we can put those D24 components in, sorry, D26 components in just in a little brief second. So we'll drop a little bit of a little bead of glue in there. Doesn't need to be absolutely bonded and bolted, just bonded will do. Thank you very much. So D26. So there we are. We need 4 of those. So there's 2 on one sprue, one and 2 on one sprue, 1 on the other. 2 on one sprue and 2 on the other. Now these being little teedly components, we're going to have to first of all get the magnifying glass out, but secondly be very careful that they don't disappear off into the middle distance. Don't like using cutters just precisely like this, but we'll do that way anyway. Right, where are my D26s? There we are. That's one of them. There we go. Right, put those away over there, and once again magnifiers and all that. So they go, these components. Yes, I see. Right. And get dropped into that little hole there. And then the sticky out bit at the bottom goes into the little slot that is prepared for it, just there like that. So they are very small, so we have to be somewhat careful. Quite how we're going to do this, like how I'm going to show you this happening, is a bit more of a mystery. I think what we'll do is we'll go like that. That's probably the best way of doing it, isn't it? Wouldn't you say? So we'll just drop that into its place. Little dab of glue and one there. Oh, that's moved out of its appointed spot. I'll put it back in. There we go, that's that in. We'll do the same with the next one. We just need to shave off a little bit of this sprue nib here. You can sort of see it under the magnifier, but I suspect from arm's length none of that will be visible. So what we'll do is maneuver this into position, just as we have done before. And then just ensure that it's fit. Oh, that's not gone on quite as I'd anticipated. There we go. Got the gluage there. There we are. Right, as I said, I don't think a lot of that will be particularly visible when completed, certainly not from arm's length, but it's worthwhile getting into good habits of cleaning up components to make sure that they look good. So let's get this third one done, and that will be us, I suspect, done for this particular video, because I've been doing this for an hour now. I'm just interested to know really how long it takes in terms of hours to complete a little 1/35 scale model like this. So we'll have an idea by the conclusion of this video build series. That's pissed, that wasn't right at all, was it? That was not at the right angle. That is now at the right angle. That's what we wanted it. We wanted it the right angle, not the wrong angle. I mean, I don't know, my estimate would be, it would be, you know, 4 or 5 hours maybe to at full chat for me to do this. But I think some of you people out there, Mr. TBG for example, he probably dashed one of these off in about 3/4 of an hour, and Seamus over at See My BMW, the car building fellow and the lorry building fellow, go look at his stuff. It'd probably take him about 20 minutes to build a kit like this. He's as quick as a flash, that fellow. But there we are, anyway. Okay, see, that's just there now at the right level. So we have now completed stage 2. So that's done, that's all sorted, they're put in with their numbers on them there, so you can get them the right side round. That number there was, that will fool most people, I suspect. So there we go, that's the first section done. So after an hour and 44 seconds we're completed for the first bit. And there's a few more stages to do, but I'll bring you back to those, and I'll do another video in the near future with this. This model will be about finishing. It's not really about building as much as anything else, but I am interested to know how long this sort of thing takes. It helps me to understand it, because I don't really time any of this stuff. I just go and get on with it. But there we are. Anyway, thanks for coming along, and if you saw all of that, well, my goodness, that's very kind of you. But perhaps you might like to think about playing this video to people who are having trouble sleeping, because it will probably be better than strong drink. Right, see you on the next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.